A homeless woman is under arrest.
And the murder suspect next door. Residents shocked after learning their neighbor is the prime suspect in a brutal murder and has been on the run for decades. Now on the news at 10. Good evening, I'm Cher Calvin.
And I'm Rick Chambers. Micah has this night off. It was a stunning end to a painful legal battle for actor Alec Baldwin.
The judge in his involuntary manslaughter trial threw out the case today in a sudden and unexpected turn of events. The trial's end came 3 years after a prop gun Baldwin was holding went off with a live round, hitting and killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the New Mexico set of the movie Rust. When the trial was dismissed, a tearful Baldwin was overcome with emotion.
KTLA 5 Samantha Cortese here in the studio with us with more on this dramatic end to that sensational trial. Sam?
Rick and Cher, this is the end of any criminal culpability for Mr. Baldwin. A jury didn't even hear any witness testimony before this trial was over.
Your motion to dismiss with prejudice is granted.
Case dismissed. Actor Alec Baldwin emotional in court after the judge issues a bombshell ruling. The involuntary manslaughter case against him dismissed with prejudice, meaning this case cannot be tried again.
This dismissal just took everybody by surprise. Nobody thought that this is the second time around that evidence was being withheld by the prosecution and that it would come out this way, and one of the prosecutors would be resigning mid-trial. It just all took us by surprise.
The case was being tried in New Mexico, where in 2021, Baldwin was rehearsing a scene for the film Rust. He pointed a Colt 45 toward cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The revolver went off with a live round, killing her and injuring the director. Baldwin maintains he never pulled the trigger.
The prosecution tried to argue that this bullet that was turned over late in the game had no evidentiary value because it wasn't even on the same composition of the one that was used in the actual matter. But the judge nevertheless said it doesn't matter. That's for the defense to decide if it has evidentiary value on their end as well. You're not the triers of that one. Both sides get to evaluate all the evidence, especially when the stakes are this high.
Baldwin left court without speaking to media. Prosecutors say they did everything possible to get justice for Hutchins.
I understand that the court disagrees with me, and I respect the court's decision. There is absolutely no evidence that any of that ammunition is related to the incident involving Ms. Hutchins.
Prosecutors did put one person in prison for the death of the 42-year-old wife and mother.
I am sentencing you to 18 months of incarceration at a New Mexico women's correctional facility.
Armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. She is appealing that ruling. Deadline reporting tonight, Hutchins' widower vows to take Baldwin back to court in a civil wrongful death suit to hold him, quote, accountable. Back to you.
President Biden delivers a fiery speech in the battleground state of Michigan today in front of a crowd of supporters. The president defiantly claimed that he was, quote, not going anywhere, and then went on the attack against his rival, former President Trump.
And despite the president's stronger appearance in Detroit, the calls for him to step aside are only growing louder. John Fanilio, live in our news center tonight with the latest on that. John?
Sure, Rick, that's right. This was the most energized we have seen President Biden in quite some time, a notable departure from his halting debate performance late last month. Michigan, of course, is a critical swing state. Tonight, the president telling the Detroit crowd that he is staying in the race. He also didn't hold back, slamming former President Trump.
Motown is Joetown, and it is.
President Biden back on the campaign trail in battleground Michigan, again making it clear he's not dropping out of the race.
Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? Where's mine? I am running, and we're going to win.
Despite concerns about his age, the president is trying to reassure voters and his own party he can beat Donald Trump and serve another term.
I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party, the only Democrat or Republican who has beaten Donald Trump ever. And I'm going to beat him again. Donald Trump is a loser.
Following his dismal debate performance late last month, 18 House Democrats and 1 senator have publicly called on the president to step down, including California Congressman Mike Levin, who reportedly told the president directly in a phone call Friday it was time to end his campaign.
Absolutely not.
But most Democratic officials, like California Governor Gavin Newsom, continue to publicly support Biden. Newsom telling CBS News he has not even thought about becoming the nominee if the president withdraws.
I know one thing. Everything you do in private becomes public. Even private thoughts seem to manifest publicly, so not a chance.
The New York Times is reporting that a Biden super PAC is withholding $90 million over concerns that Biden can't win re-election. And House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries reportedly met with the president Friday, but did not offer his endorsement. Former President Trump posting on social media, "Joe should immediately take a cognitive test, and I will go with him and take one also." President Biden offering this message before his Detroit rally.
There's more to do. I know I'm only 41. We got to finish the job, and I promise you, I'm okay. Thank you.
All right, former President Trump is set to hold a campaign rally in Pennsylvania tomorrow, just 2 days before next week's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Many now waiting to see if Trump will announce his choice for vice president at the convention. Meantime, President Biden will sit down for another one-on-one interview Monday with NBC News anchor Lester Holt. Election Day, just a little more than 3.5 months out. Cher Rick, back to you.
All right, John, thanks for that. A 4-year-old girl abducted from a fast food restaurant is safe tonight following terror-filled 30 minutes for the family. It happened, they say, in a blink of an eye. The girl's grandmother was busy at the counter when a woman was able to lure the child outside.
Response from police was lightning fast, and in less than 30 minutes, they found the girl at a motel and arrested the woman who took her. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade is live in Santa Monica with the heart-stopping details. MB.
Hi there, Sharon. You know, within 30 minutes of that abduction, police managed to find the child and the suspect here at this motel just a few blocks away from the Panda Express where the abduction occurred. Now, as for the child, well, we're told that she is expected to be fine. And as for the suspect, well, that 31-year-old woman has now been booked with kidnapping and may be eligible for a special circumstance. Some scary moments Friday afternoon inside this Santa Monica Panda Express when a 4-year-old girl having lunch with her grandmother was kidnapped. We spoke to a family friend who works nearby and helped out with the search, but didn't want to be identified.
A grandmother dropped their child off at one of the centers here, one of the Sylvan Learning, and then she brought her other child over to Panda Express, and then she was paying for her food and the child disappeared.
Moments later, Santa Monica police say they got a frantic call from the grandmother.
And this is absolutely one of our most, horrifying kind of calls that we get, the ones that just chill us.
We're told dozens of officers responded to the restaurant at Lincoln and Pico.
And we were able to get surveillance cameras, like camera footage from the inside of the restaurant that showed the suspect and the child.
There was actually a witness in Panda that saw a woman coaxing the child out and grabbing the child by the hand and taking her away.
Authorities quickly sent out images of the suspect, 31-year-old Brianna Shields, and of the child to all the officers in the field. And because they were told that the child and woman were on foot, they knew they couldn't have gone far.
A couple of our officers went over to a motel that's located at the corner of 11th and Pico in Santa Monica. We're able to show the photos of the suspect and child to the manager there, and that was how we were able to find the child along with the suspect in the room.
Police say within 30 minutes of the abduction, they found the child and arrested Shields. They don't believe the child was harmed.
We did transport her to a hospital just to make sure that nothing happened. She was in very good spirits when we found her.
The motel manager says he rents out rooms to an organization who then places people here. Police say Shields had apparently been experiencing homelessness. Now, when I asked why police would think to come here to this motel, well, police tell me that they are familiar with it. And so to our many of the residents who've been coming up to us throughout the evening to complain about it, saying it's brought a lot of problems to this community. Now, the manager did not want to talk on camera and asked us to leave the property. For now, reporting live here in Santa Monica, Mary Beth McDade will send back to you in the studio.
A suspect who threw a live firework into a Santa Ana yard, leaving a dog bleeding with serious burns, has been arrested. The suspect is a juvenile, just 17 years old, and faces animal cruelty charges and possessing explosives in public. As for Romeo, the Chow Chow, he's doing much better tonight and is recovering from his injuries. Patrol officers paid a visit to Romeo today, who appeared happy to see them.
That's good to hear. Let's bring in Vera, talk about our weather. A little chilly along the coast, but you said the inland part's going to have more heat tomorrow, huh?
Oh, yes. The inland parts are going to stay warm, even though we are going to see an influx of moisture. That moisture is going to cool those temperatures down just a hair because, again,